Good evening. Good
Looking
evening,
as beautiful as ever.
Well, thank you. You know, I remember how brave it was for you to have started this, to have come out as a celebrity. You know, I think it was about 2016, wasn't it? You know, thereabout.
It was 2012. 11
2012.
and
Yeah.
13.
2013, and you came out to talk about having survived sexual assault. What was it? What was it? What pushed you?
It happened to me when I was 17 years old, and I was deflowered by the rapist, which was our tenant. And when we went to the hospital, they took care of me. But before the hospital, we went to the police station. When we got to the police station, I was embarrassed out of there, or we were embarrassed out of there. How do I mean? The kind of question they were asking us. And you know, then it wasn't like it was like it was a major stigmatization for you to actually say you were raped. For us to go to the police station, and all we were getting was, what do you wear? Why you go there? What will happen? You these small girls. You know, I had to chicken out. And I was already in Ife then, I was no AU then. By the time I got back to school, I was a shadow of myself. I became totally frigid. So when I got married to my first husband, my first marriage, it wasn't pleasurable. Because amongst other things, I was not enjoying anything about marriage or anything like sex. I saw sex like torment, like I was in for torture. So when I left the marriage, I had no form of self-esteem. So I had a friend that told me that, Foluke, you have to see a psychiatrist. And I said, I'm not mad. I'm perfectly all right. And he says, you're not all right. So I said, okay. So the guy will come. He will come even to joints where we hang out, and he would talk to me. And, you know, subsequently, he lured me to come into his office. You know, his name was Frank. That's my psychiatrist. We were platonic friends, but he helped me a whole lot. And one of the things I told me then that helped me was the fact that I had to speak out if I needed to get healed. And so along the way, I got married to my present husband, and he also encouraged me to talk about it. And when I first had that interview in 2013, I got a whole lot of strange calls. People were calling me, people of prominence, people of timber and caliber, so to speak. They will come and say, Foluke, what were you thinking? Why do you have to do this? You don't have to do this. You want people to stigmatize that. But I told them, so I said, listen, I'm not a prostitute. I'm not a harlot. I did not call for me to be raped. It happened to me. So I discovered that a lot of people were just typical of Africans. We're pushing it under the carpet. We're just brushing it under the carpet because we thought that we don't want to be stigmatized. Now, when I see the way people come out to talk about it, it's a very, very sensitive topic, but sometimes when you talk about it, you actually feel better.
So, would you have wanted your own rapist to be prosecuted?
After it happened, he left our house, and I saw him once in a while. There was a time that he saw me apologize profusely and all that. When he apologized the first time, I was still hurting deep. So I thought to myself that if I had a chance to kill this guy and I won't go to jail, I would do it willingly. But I now saw him again in 2014. And by 2014, I just told him something. I said, listen, Tony, just because you have gotten away with this does not make it right, or you're going to get away with others. If I had my way, I will still prosecute you so that others can learn. Because the unfortunate thing about our society is they make it seem as if the victims are actually the perpetrators. They are the ones that actually make it happen to themselves.
I don't know how you do the work that you still continue to do. I mean, you work now with rape victims and rape survivors. How bad is it?
Sister, for me, it's terrible. It's very bad. The community that I went to today in Ikorodu, they say it happens once in 2 weeks at least. That some random guy will just go and rape young girls. Sometimes they'll just come and dump a child. Sometimes they even told me of a situation today that some random Marwa guy will pick a young girl, just the girl, and take her to some desolate place and have a field time and dump them there. That they've had cases like random, like 10 of such. A lot of young men have the mentality that if a lady is saying no, she actually means yes.
Do you think that stronger laws, because I mean, the work that you do with your foundation, what do you think can make a difference? So sorry that you that we're taking.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's my new baby. It's my PARAA baby.
Oh, I mean that you have to actually sometimes have to take people into your home.
Because I got home late today, because I'm coming from Ikorodu, so we got home late today. So tomorrow morning, I'll take her to where she's supposed to be. It's like when you have a passion, what you are doing, you have a passion to do it. When you have a passion for something, it's beyond you doing it for monetary gains or for anything. You understand? So for me, it's like I have another baby.
I want to say thank you for this.
Thank
you. I mean, thank you for helping this.
I'm going to go back to school, and I'm talking to a few of my friends that are psychiatrists to talk to her because she needs a whole lot of that as well. 75% from religious leaders, because we put so much responsibility
cases you've had
that I had to deal with. You understand? And a lot of times we never get to the end of it. That's the sad aspect. Because when we get started, they will come back and tell us that we want everything to, it's God that will take care of them. And if I probe any further, they will say, what's your own? Leave us. We say we are fine. And we have to leave it like that. A lot of things are swept under the carpet. To get to the root of it, at the end of the day, they just tagged me a witch.
Did this have any effect on your career as an actress?
I'm an optimist to the core. Put yourself in a position of self-pity. I'm worth more than, and I have to move above that. And most times you find out that the perpetrators of this act have been abused too. He's one person that has been abused one way or another and has grown to become what he has become.
Does indecent dressing attract rape? And I was saying nothing.
I don't believe so.
Nothing attracts
nothing.
rape.
It's a sign of weakness. Because I'm sorry to chip in, but the truth of the matter is, why do they rape 4-year minors, teenagers, even old women? Is that also about indecent dresses? You hardly find cases of 20-something, 30-something, apart from maybe sexual assault or abuse in workplace, but you hardly find such rape cases of the young woman. You find it happening amongst kids, teenagers, elders. So how come the vulnerable, how come you now tell me that it is indecent dressing?
No, also
and we are not animals.
The question to ask is, the men who are raped and men get raped by men, were men also indecently dressed?
Exactly. So exactly.
Yes. So yes, actually, from now on, if I know anybody, just let me say it publicly now. If I see you in public, and you say anything you justify by indecent dressing, I will cancel you. I will consider it rape apology. That you're a rape apology,
exactly.
And you need not to think that way. And if you think that way, if you rape somebody, you should get the stiffest penalty.
Of course.
Somebody says, what about children of same parents?
I'm sorry, that is the irresponsibility of the parents. Because I was reading a book yesterday, and it says that when you expose your genital, the sensitive areas to your kids, and also a lot of times a parent, or especially a mother, should be able to decipher her son and her daughter. What are those things that your son would ordinarily do? What are those things that your daughter would ordinarily do? There shouldn't be room for such closeness. There shouldn't be room for such closeness, because as a mother, you should be able to, you can't watch until your children starts having sexual escapades under your very nose, and they'll be so smart as in for you not to notice.
Okay, so
as far as I'm
concerned, what I would say in addition to that is that whether it is siblings or not, report. If it's rape, rape is rape. If it's your brother raping you or your sister raping you, you still report. The parents should still report. There's somebody, I think it's Nathan John. Nathan, the writer. He's saying listening also to reports of young boys getting raped in Quranic schools in places like Kaduna and Kano. Yes. So that's another dimension that doesn't come up often. There are boys being raped, under religious institutions and processes like that too. The only thing I can say is the places where the statistics are less, things like social, so just that issue of education, higher education, equal access,
of course,
for all opportunities for both men and women, it matters. And then strong policing, zero tolerance in society. Do you think we have hit a point where change might be coming?
Yeah, when obviously the awareness is more prominent now, there's bound to be changes, even though it's not going to be automatic. It's going to be gradual. The reorientation, the awareness, the reorientation continues, and subsequently it will spread around. And I read something earlier here that said that we should do campaigns to communities. It is very, very essential, ma. It is very, very essential. Not everybody that has access to what we're using now.
What is the role of Nollywood? What do you think Nollywood can do?
The role of Nollywood is for us to create more awareness programs, have more movies that are preaching the negativity of rape and abuse, and then the reason why it can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody, and the reason why under no circumstance should any rapist be covered or be made look like a good person. If somebody is a rapist, even if he's a billionaire, even if he's a motivational speaker, he's a rapist. So if we see it as it's a no-no, not for us to sit on the fence as Nollywood, then we'll have every reason to do more advocacy movies against rape and abuse.
What kind of support do you get to do the work you do? And what can people do to support what you are doing?
Like my new baby now, if you give us clothes, if you give us stuff, if you give us funds, it can be anything. Because apart from what I do with my rape victims, I also support my Nollywood veterans. You understand? I support a whole lot of my veterans that are old, some of them are sick. You understand? In the little way we can. You understand? This started for me as a passion. And it's something that I feel that the little thing I can do in my own confines, I've been able to work around this, and I've been doing it in my own little way. I have friends that support me one way or another. You understand? But most importantly, I love what I'm doing. If I get support from people, from organization, all well and good. It just makes it easy for me.
I mean, for me personally, I must say that my heart is glad that we have reached a moment like this. And I think that the momentum will be carried on. Because as I said at the beginning of the program, it was even not something that anybody spoke about. I remember the end of that series on NCA. I was so depressed because I thought, is this ever going to change? We should be able to talk about it. But here we are, just like a decade or so or more down the line. it has changed. 10 years from
Yeah.
now, it can be different in many, many ways, as long as we keep pushing and we have no tolerance to the rape of women and men. Because oftentimes when we're talking about rape, people think, oh, they're just attacking men. The fact of the matter is that most rape is done by men. Whether they're raping men or raping women, it's still mostly. Look, I'm just so, I mean, the last thing I'll say to you is that it's interesting people coming up and say, oh, we didn't know this about you. We didn't know this about you. They didn't know this about you. I must say this, and this is also tied to everything else. The way that women are reported in the media is no good. Every time they talk about women, particularly women celebrities, women artists, there's always to put them down, to reduce them one way or the other.
Exactly.
So you don't see the full person, you know, in that way. They didn't know that you were doing all of this. The more people know, the better. I think all of us in our different ways of life have to become more aware. And the reason why we must do it at the end of the day is not just that we're doing it for women, we're doing it for all ourselves. A society that leaves
Exactly.
women will never, never go far. Never.
Thank you so much, Auntie. I feel honored to be on the show. I had always loved you from NTA. You've been my mentor for like ages. So when I got the privilege to be here, I said, no, I have to be here. Thank you so much, Ma. I love you so much. You're doing fantastic. We are proud of you, Ma, and keep the good work going.
I love you.
You are setting the right place for
I will
me.
come and see you personally. I love you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Ma.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, Ma.
All right, everybody. Well, that's our conversation today. I mean, I did get a little. I feel myself being a little all over the place because I am emotional on in many ways about this. Not because it's women only, but because I feel that this also is the root of the development issues in Nigeria. And my own personal belief that even on the issue of race around the world, the better Nigeria as the biggest, most populous black nation in the world does, the better the lot of the black person everywhere is, including Nigerians that live in other parts of the world. And nobody's ever going to do it. It's not going to be an easy work, but from generation to generation, we just have to keep working away at it. That's my show for today. It's come down now to the studio version because, well, lockdowns are ending. Life will begin to return to a new kind of normal, and we'll be updating you as we go on. But I'll see you again on Friday. Yeah, Friday next week. Thank you for the honor of watching. Bye-bye. Have a good week. And please remember, take care of yourself. Stay safe.